Hey guys, we are back with some more Kingston Frontenacs franchise mode in Eastside Hockey Manager. And in this one, I want to try to get the rest of the regular season done, since the OHL season is significantly shorter than the NHL season. I think we might be able to get through it in this episode. We're going to have to go quick though. And I don't think we'll be making any trades. The trade deadline is on January 11th in the OHL. And again, I don't feel the need to make any trades. I mean, we're obviously not in the greatest position at the moment. We're ninth in our division. However, I think some tactical changes will be what this team needs. First of all, our forwards, in terms of their average ratings, you're going to see a lot of players in the 7. Well, you have 3 players in the 7 range, and then you have a lot of players that are within this 650 to 7 range. So I see the potential here. I really do. Because there's not a whole lot of forwards in the OHL that have over a 7 average rating compared to how many there are in the NHL anyway. So Ian Durungs actually is 20th in average rating with a 719. And if you take a look here, it goes all the way down to 7 average rating with only 50 players. So that's not too many forwards that have over a 7 average rating. So I would say we're just about there with every other team that has a few forwards with a 7 average rating, and then most of them are under 7, I would imagine. However, our defense, not looking the greatest. You have Anthony Iguano with a 738, but all of our other defensemen could definitely be doing much better. Jacob Murray, Billy Constantino especially. So what we're going to do here, we are going to set personal tactics for these guys that are struggling. So first up, Evan Brand and Mitchell Byrne. We're going to be setting them to have a very defensive mentality, as Brand and Byrne, both of them are defensive defensemen. They need to focus on what they are strong with. So that is going to be defending, and that'll ultimately put them in a better position to make the jump to the pro level. As obviously they're defensive defensemen down here. They're not going to be offensive defensemen. Certainly not going to be offensive defensemen in the NHL. So we're going to boost their strong spots to make them even stronger there. And so there you go. There's Byrne and Brand. And now what we are going to do, Jacob Murray. We are going to set his shoot pass bias to shoot. Because this guy has a heck of a shot, heck of a slap shot, 71 for a slap shot. Of course, only 6 for his shot, but he's got that 71 slap shot. I want him to utilize that a little bit more. And to go along with that, we are going to set shooting to barrage. So we're going to see what that does for Jacob Murray. And Emmett Gordon. He's more of a two-way defender, I would say. Yeah, two-way defenseman. And I see the playmaking potential is there. He has 6 assists in 17 games, 647 average rating. He's coming along for sure. But what he also is good at doing is he's good positionally. He's good at checking. So what I want to do for Emmett Gordon is set his back checking to hard, hitting to hard. And another thing I want to do is set passing to creative. Now, I know he doesn't necessarily have the skill at the moment, but I feel like if we set his passing to creative, he'll, start going for, obviously, more creative passes, and then maybe that boosts him up a little bit. Now, maybe it stunts him, of course, as well, and maybe that hurts him. Hopefully it doesn't, and if it does, then we'll obviously take away the creative passing, tell him to stop with the creative passing as often, but I want to see what it does for him. Those are the tactical changes we're going to be making for our defensive core. Hopefully, everything turns out the way we want it to. And again, we're going to get right into the simulation, as we do have a long season ahead of us, and I do want to try to get through the rest of the season here. So Martin and Durungs again, and unfortunately, we lose that one to Windsor in overtime, but luckily, we get a point out of it, so I can't complain too much. I have another game right here against Peterborough, and that is going to be a huge 4-1 win. Martin with the hat trick and Durungs with the goal as well. So it'll be interesting to see the stats after the next couple of months to see where guys like Gordon and Mainly our defensive core is what I'm interested in heading towards the end of the season. Marian Hossa is in the NHL Hall of Fame. And we have a game against Oshawa. All right, so that's a 1-goal game. We were in it, at least. Goals by Newman, Davis, and Mercer. But nonetheless, we get the loss against Oshawa. But luckily, right now, we are in 8th. And still somehow in the playoffs, and that is not good. Ryan Dugas injured for 10 days with a thigh strain, so we're going to have to put him on the IR. And unfortunately, get one of our 2 weaker goaltenders, Brandon Bonello or Mario Puccia, in there. So we'll just let the assistant coach say who to put in, and he's going to put in Bonello. So that is what we will do. McDougall, that's not our McDougall, that's a different McDougall, spelled a different way, slightly different. So we are going to continue on. Sudbury is our next game. A lot of stretches of back-to-back-to-backs here. We had games from December 1st to December 3rd, and now from December 8th to the 10th. As again, most of the games for juniors appear to be on the weekends, so that would make sense. Again, we're going to try to get through the whole rest of the regular season so that we're not spending too much time here, so that it doesn't, this series doesn't go, almost a year long like the other ones have. I mean, at least with Vegas, it was a little bit different considering it was actually consistent, like being uploaded consistently over the course of the year. But as far as Detroit went, like that was just a disaster, as it was not being uploaded consistently, and it took like a year and a half to end finally, and didn't even get too much done. We got more done in Vegas than we did in Detroit for sure. Mercer out for 2 weeks. So yeah, I want to try to get as much done with the Kingston Frontenacs as possible over the next few months or so. DeRung's praise, we will definitely build up the praise for him. So we're going to have to get, since Mercer's injured again, unfortunately, we're going to have to get someone else in there. Ryan Cranford, Luke Druitt, Freeman. I'm going to give one of these guys a chance who hasn't played yet. Sam Field or Dawson Baker. We'll get Baker in there. He's 18. So we'll see what he can do. Ask coach for the lines. And we'll get back to it against the Erie Otters on December 9th. And that will be a 4-2 loss against them. Goals by Bernie and Hugh. But not much else happening after that. So we're sitting in 10th currently, which is last in the OHL Eastern Conference. Game against Kitchener, that's going to be a 5-3 loss. So yeah, we're starting to slide here a little bit, actually a lot. Part of that could be attributed to our main guy in Dugas going down with an injury, but every team gets injuries, so we're not really going to blame that too much now, are we? So we do have a game on the 13th here. Before our next weekend game, it looks like. Yeah, 2 games back-to-back against Hamilton. So we'll get right to it. And Dugas resumes practice, so that's good. Definitely good news. We need him in there, as he is our stud goaltender at the moment. So we're going to take him off the injured reserve. Take Pachia out. Dugas in. And game against Hamilton. Come on, boys. 2-0 win. There you go. DeRungs and Baker. Baker with his first goal of the year, I believe, short-handed. Game against Hamilton, once again, 5-4 shootout loss. So we battled, but they got the win. Got 2 goals from DeRungs, got a goal from Hugh and Bernie, a goal from Iguano in the shootout, but still not good enough for the 2 points. So hopefully we can get a few wins together with Dugas as our goaltender. I don't want to burn him out too much because he's already gotten injured once. He might get injured again, and there is a 7-2 blowout loss against the Ottawa 67s. McDougall and Davis with the goals. But yeah, I mean, that's understandable. Ottawa is second in the division, 21-9-2. They are a good team. At this point, we may as well, I mean, I'm not sure if we're coming back from this season. Let's see what's happening. I mean, we could, because it's still, I would say 7th through 10th is very much still up for grabs in the East. But if there comes a point in this season where we're definitely falling out of it, then I think there's a reason to, I wouldn't say tank, because the players don't have any interest in tanking, right? But at least with the OHL, as far as I'm aware, there isn't any lottery system for the draft. It's just whoever's the worst team gets the highest pick. So if it comes down to it, we may need to do that. But at the same time, I also don't want to sacrifice the development of all these young guys because, obviously, this isn't the NHL. It's not like we have a whole bunch of old players on our roster. No, these guys are all young. These guys still have development to do to get to the NHL, and I want as many as possible to get there. So we're definitely not going to be sacrificing the development of our young guys. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose games naturally. I'm not going to mess with the tactics just to lose, and I'm not going to put our worst goaltenders in there just to lose. I'm going to put everyone who is our best prospects or best players in there at all times, and it's going to be what it's going to be. We're not going to lose intentionally here. And I don't know if there are any players who I would want to trade at this moment in order to make us a little bit better when we could get a top pick out of the draft and have a stellar player potentially in a year or two from that draft, So goals by Laurie, Byrne, and Laurie once again in this game, but Ottawa wins in an OT. I don't think there's any trade that's helping this team anyway at the moment because we seem to be falling off in a big way right now. Yeah, 5-3 loss against Peterborough. We're starting to fall off here for sure. It was okay in the last one because it was kind of close, at least between 6th and 10th. But now I think other teams are starting to pull away from us at this point. Maybe not Hamilton, but I would say 7th is now out of reach for us unless we go on a huge winning streak, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. So we'll see what happens here, but I don't know. The playoffs are starting to gradually be out of reach here. Yeah, I don't think we're catching Oshawa, to be honest. I mean, we could, but it looks like they're starting to win a little bit more because they're up there at 33 points now. So I could see us maybe slotting into 8th, but that's about it because we don't have a good penalty kill either. 61%. Jeez. What is it with all my teams and not being able to perform on the penalty kill? Actually, you know what? We'll take over practice here for a little bit. I'm going to set the percentages here. I'm going to set penalty kill to be 30%. Just so we can work on that a little bit. As a defensive team especially, it's kind of embarrassing. So we're going to get through this next month here and see if those practice changes help. And it looks like it did for this game. 5-3 win against Erie. Laurie, Martin, Hotchkiss, Baker, and Hotchkiss once again with the goals against the Erie Otters. That'll make us 12-21-5. Again, if we get into the playoffs, it's going to be squeaking in to 8th. I highly doubt we're going to be getting even a top 6 spot. Again, maybe the 7th spot if we go on a winning streak, but I doubt that's going to happen at this point. So mid-season draft rankings for the OHL. This is what we're really interested in. Jeez, can't talk. Connor Lockhart is the top-ranked player. He looks pretty good. 15 years of age, playing for the Ottawa minor bantam team. He looks very good. Off the puck 70. Wrist shot 81. He would be a very welcome addition to this team. So, again, if it comes down to it, we get Connor Lockhart out of the OHL entry draft and we have ourselves a good player. But I don't want to sacrifice the development of our young guys just to get him. So we're gonna do the best we can. That's all I'm asking for out of this team at this point in the season, because it's clear that we're not the best team in the league, and we're not. As a matter of fact, we're not a good team. But we at least need to try our best here in order to keep developing our young guys. And I probably sound like a broken record at this point, so we're just gonna go on with all the games, and I'm just rambling at this point. OT loss against Oshawa. We had 3 goals there in the second by Newman, Martin, and McDougall, but then they come back with 2 goals by Noel, and they get the OT winner. So down to 12, 21, and 6 now are your Kingston Frontenacs. We're in the beginning of January, so I don't think we're getting the whole season done in this video, though I do want to at least maybe February. We'll get up to February, and then in the next one we'll definitely finish the season in the next one, if not here. But yeah, there's another 5-2 loss against the Owen Sound, who are 21, 15, and 5. A big move for Iguano? Absolutely not. I mean, unless it's an NAHL team who's looking at him. But no, he can't even be picked up by an NHL team yet anyway. He has to go through the draft, so no reason to worry about that. Iguano's not getting moved. 4-3 loss against the Guelph Storm. Goes by McDougall, Bernie, and Hugh. But, yeah, we're clearly one of the worst teams in the OHL right now. I mean, honestly, it looks like we're doing better than the real-life Kingston Frontenacs, because as we saw in episode number 1 with the OHL standings, in real life, the Frontenacs are just not very good at all. So, and that's part of the reason why I picked them. Actually, that's most of the reason, if not all of the reason why I picked them. So, we're just gonna hope that this team does its best. Again, I can't say win at this point because we only have 12 wins on the season, and we're already, I would imagine, more than halfway through. Yeah, I think we're almost 2/3 of the way through at this point. And Dugas is definitely our best goaltender. So I would say let's go through the rest of January at least, and then we'll, I guess, determine from there what to do. But as far as finishing the season or not, but again, it's just I'm saying the same things over and over at this point. So you know what? I may as well just do all this off screen, and then I'll update you guys each month so that we can get through the regular season. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get through each month on my own. I'll provide a monthly update because at this point, I'm not sure if we do make the playoffs. It's gonna be just barely. So, and I mean, even North Bay and Hamilton, they have 16 wins. We only have 12. I highly doubt it. It's possible, but I highly doubt it. So, yeah. I'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to simulate the rest of January, and I'll update you guys. Hey, we finally won a game against the Mississauga Steelheads nonetheless with Jack Hughes. So that's a big win. You have 5-4 overtime shootout win. Jeez. So 13, 25, and 6 currently. More than halfway through January, and yeah, Hamilton's starting to pull away. So I don't think playoffs are happening, but just coming in here just to celebrate a win. Getting back to the off-screen simulating. And we have another win. A second win in a row against the first-placed Ottawa 67s. Well, how do you like that? Okay, this team's starting to show some promise. So goal by Hotchkiss, Bernie, and Davis. So maybe we're starting to turn a corner here. Who knows? We're still in 10th. But I like what I'm seeing the past couple of games. So let's keep it going. And we have a third win in 4 games against the Hamilton Bulldogs. So we made up some ground on them. Martin, Golovachev, and Durungs with the goals on Hamilton. And we are 15, 26, and 6. Still in 10th. But you know what? We're looking better. And I may as well just keep talking over this last game of the month here against Niagara. And that's going to be an 8-3 loss. Oh my. Martin, McDougall, and Hotchkiss with the goals. So we're clearly not that good. We just had some, I guess, maybe some lucky bounces. Because we are definitely not a good team. So we're through January now. So we can check out the stats, see how everyone's doing here. I'm mainly interested in defense. So I'm going to start there. Let's see. As far as average rating goes, Anthony Iguano with a 733, Murray with a 673, Constantino with a 655, Byrne with a 648, Gordon with a 641, so it doesn't look like those tactical changes helped out too much, if at all. Evan Brand with a 618. Points-wise, Iguano has 32, Murray has 24. Byrne and Constantinu with 12. Gordon with 11. So since those changes we made to his creative passing, he has, 4 assists since then. And then Evan Brand with 7 points, minus 13 as well. Yeah, everyone besides Iguano is a minus. That's to be expected. We're not a very good team. And then Ian Durung's the only forward now with a 7 average rating or above. 721 for Durung's. And a 697 for Hugh. 693 for Mercer. 690 for Bernie. 685 for Golovachev. 683 for Davis. 674 for Laurie. 667 for McDougall. 661 for Hotchkiss. 652 for Martin. 650 for Dawson Baker, who's been not great, but I guess decent compared to some of our other forwards here since he's been put in. And then Ryan Cranford with 643, 639 for Newman and Druitt, 625 for Wisdom, 6 for Freeman and Pringle, and then 567 for Paul Larrabee in 3 games. So Sam Field has yet to play. And we'll check out our goaltenders real quick, though I'm pretty sure it's Dugas with, Dugas by far the best stats. 870 save percentage, 1 shutout, 670 average rating, and 9 wins. So out of all of our goaltenders, Dugas definitely has been the best. And this team just doesn't look like it's ready. And of course, Dugas has another groin strain. So yeah, I don't think this team is making the playoffs. I mean, it still, again, could technically happen. But the more games without Dugas that we have, the more we're going to hurt for sure. And Hamilton and North Bay might be able to pull away in that time frame. So it's not looking likely. It's still possible, but not likely. Now, one other thing I wanted to do is show you guys where all of our players are ranked for the upcoming draft. So I'm going to sort by team here. If I could somehow filter by team. I'm not going to sort by text. Every time I sort by text, this game crashes. Recently anyway, so not doing that. I'm going to... What else can I filter by here? Alright, you know what? We'll just go by rank and we'll take a look at all the teams and see where Kingston is. So we're not on the first page. Second page, are we here? Nope. Don't believe so. Page 3. Nope. Page 4. Nope. That's a yikes. Page 5. Are we here? Oh no, we're not here. Are we on page 6? I would imagine. Yeah, Anthony Iguano ranked 120th. And then Constantinu 123. Do we have anyone else who's ranked? It doesn't look like it. Nope. We have 2 guys who are ranked. So that's unfortunate. But, I mean, we don't really have the greatest team in the first place, so that's to be expected. From here, we'll go on through February, and I'll see you guys in 1 second. Actually, first, we're going to see the Player of the Month. So, OHL Player of the Month is Cody Clark from Ottawa, and the Rookie of the Month is Adam Bachquist from London. Okay, so boys, we're breaking new ground here. We're in February 13th, so it's obviously not the end of the month, but we have had we are on a 4-game winning streak currently. First against Mississauga, 4-3, then against Sarnia, 5-2, then an overtime win against, Barrie? Yeah, Barrie, 4-3, and then now against the Ottawa 67s, 3-1. So, all of a sudden, we're not out of reach of the playoffs. I mean, we're still a long shot to make it, I would say, but given the past 4-game winning streak that we're on, we're at least back in it. So I'm going to continue simulating on my own, but if we continue this winning streak, then we might find ourselves back in the playoffs. Who knows? And unfortunately, the winning streak comes to an end with a 6-2 loss against the Oshawa Generals. Yeah, knew that wasn't going to last too long, but Had to at least update you guys on that, because I believe that is the first 4-game winning streak so far in this GM mode. Okay, so big update here, boys. The LA Kings have sent back Gabriel Vilardi from the NHL. So we now have Gabe Vilardi on our team. Maybe that puts us over the edge to potentially make the playoffs. However, we are currently over the roster limit, meaning we have to cut someone. That may as well be Sam Field. He's 21 years of age. He's not going to be on the team next year, and he hasn't played any games so far this year, so we're just going to release him. And there you go. That fixes that. But now we need to determine who to scratch. I think it's going to be Newman. He has the least average rating of the guys who are dressed currently. So we'll put Gabriel Vilardi in the lineup, and that looks much better. Definitely looks much better. And currently, Dugas is getting rest as he has played a ton of games. And another change that I'm going to make to the tactics, I'm going to leave the first line out there for 40 seconds instead of 30 like every other line, so that maybe we get a little more offense out there with Vilardi, Iguano, those guys. Because obviously they're our first line. They need to carry us if we have any chance of making the playoffs. I mean, we're catching up to North Bay for sure, 47-46, but Hamilton still not really too... I mean, they're within reach, but if they win, I would say 5 more games, then we're probably out of the playoffs. So we need to make sure that we win as many as possible. And there you go. There's a win against Peterborough. So Gabe Vilardi's first game back in Kingston. Now, I can't remember if he was ever officially a part of Kingston, and it looks like he was. Yeah, last year he was with the Kingston Frontenacs for 32 games, 58 points in that time. He was a beast, it looks like. So we're going to make our best use of Gabriel Vilardi that we can from this point forward in the season. We get an overtime loss against Peterborough, so that gives us a point. We're definitely closer to the playoffs than we were at any point before in this video, besides the start of it. Because, I mean, obviously at that point we were only 1 or 2 points out, but it's obviously been a rough go here for the most part since the episode started. But with Gabe Vilardi on the team, it is looking a little bit better. So Niagara, there you go, 4-3 win. All right, Vilardi with a goal. Does he have an assist there? No, he had a goal though. So, I mean, he helped us get the win. So that's very nice. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get in the playoffs in the 8th seed. Goran suffers injury for 10 days. I mean, geez, the injuries just, they don't stop in this game. They really don't. Cal Davis is injured too for 3 weeks with the hip flexor strain. I didn't even get a notification about that. Jeez. All right, let's see. Defenseman, get Evan Brand in there. Forwards, Cal Davis is out. We'll get Newman in. And we will also get Dugas back in there. So that's an OT loss against the Hamilton Bulldogs, who are currently in 7th, actually. So they're starting to definitely get some wins in there. But we get the OT point. So I would say we're moving closer to 8th. I haven't checked the standings as of yet, but we're here on March 1st, so we'll check that momentarily. Now, player of the month is Gabe Vilardi, of course, played in 4 games in that time, and 5 points. So he's definitely helped out. Rookie of the month, Adam Bachquist. Let's check out where we are in the standings. We're 7 points out from Mississauga. Yeah, I don't know if the playoffs are happening. It's a little too late at this point. I think there's only, 68 games in the OHL season? So we're almost done. Yeah, let's take a look at the schedule here, actually. Yeah, we're almost done. I don't think we're catching the Steelheads. Unless we win that game against them, then we might have a chance. But even then, we would have to win every single one of these games in order to even have a chance at surpassing Mississauga. And we would definitely have to beat Mississauga. Not in overtime, even in regulation. So I may as well save the stats for after the simulation is done, because there's only a handful of games left. So yeah, we're gonna have to go on pretty much a 7-game winning streak. I don't see that happening, and we're definitely gonna have to win against Mississauga. Game against Sudbury, yeah. I think that right there already killed it. 3-1 loss against the Sudbury Wolves. The more days that go by that we don't get any wins and that Mississauga is getting wins, the less likely it is we'll make the playoffs. Game against London, yeah, we're not making it. We're definitely not making it now. If we were making it before, we're definitely not making it now. Because we just dropped 2 in a row there. We have, 5 games left? Yeah, the Mississauga got another win. They're 9 points ahead of us now. The only situation we get in is if we win every single last game that is on our schedule, and if Mississauga loses every single game that's on their schedule. I don't think that's happening. There's like a 0.01% chance of that happening. So yeah, I think we're done here. That should just about do it for year number 1 with your Kingston Frontenacs. And unfortunately, we missed out on the playoffs. And I'm saying it now because we definitely did. And if by chance we do, then I would be speechless. I would probably, I'm not sure what I would do, but I guarantee you it would not be a normal reaction. The game against Mississauga, there it is. Yep, we're officially out. Even with the amount of games that we have left, I don't think it's possible. Yeah, Mississauga qualified. Yep, there you go. We're out. So, with 4 games remaining, I still don't want to tank to try to get below North Bay because it's in the best interest of all of our young players, which, I mean, all of our players are young, that we continue to develop them in the best way possible. And that would be to at least give them ice time. So, what I'm going to do now is give our best players the most minutes. I'm going to set the first line to 90 seconds per shift. And, we obviously have other guys that need to develop, but all of our guys that we're really concerned about, Vilardi and Aguano mainly, they're going to be getting a lot of time in these last 4 games to get any kind of boost to their points that they can, just maybe boost Aguano's stock a little bit. He has 40 points currently. Let's see what he ends with. It should be interesting. Game against Barrie, shutout. Yikes. I mean, maybe I would imagine that's from just completely overworking our best players, but it's the end of the season. You may as well give them as much time as possible. It's not like they're going to be tired for the playoffs or anything. 5-4 win against Oshawa. There you go. So let's see how many points by our main guys. Baker from Hotchkiss and Vilardi. Golovachev from Murray and Constantino. Byrne from Constantino and Hotchkiss. And then Vilardi from Durungs and Martin. Newman from Durungs and Hughes. So nothing from Aguano there. But we definitely got a good game out of the majority of our main guys. So final 2 games of the regular season of year number 1 with your Kingston Frontenacs against North Bay and Niagara. So let's get through them. And that is a 9-2 win against the North Bay Battalion. It goes by Durungs, Murray, Baker, Hugh, Mercer, Vilardi again, Mercer, and McDougall. So any points by Aguano there? Nope. I do not see any points by Aguano. So it looks like he's kind of stunted a little bit with the massively increased ice time. I mean, he literally went from like 40 to 90 seconds per shift. Yeah, and I would imagine we're getting a lot more injuries that way too. Last game of the season against Niagara, that's going to be a 5-4 win. So we benefited from having all of our best players be on the ice the majority of the time. Aguano with 2 assists here in this game. Goals by Murray, Hotchkiss, Bernie, and Mercer. And we win in the shootout. But obviously, it's not good enough to propel us into the playoffs or anything. We would have needed to do that about 10 more times to even really have a chance. So, that is it for the regular season for your Kingston Frontenacs. We'll check out the stats momentarily. Let's see how close we were to last. Yeah, we were better than North Bay for sure. Only by a little bit. We had the same amount of wins. We just had more overtime and shootout losses. So, we'll check out the stats now. So we'll start with goaltenders. Dugas was definitely our best. 873 save percentage, 676 average rating. The other 2 were in the 5s average rating and the 820 save percentages. I'm not even going to say them because it is just ugly. As far as defenseman goes, Anthony Aguano was our only decent defenseman throughout the year. 42 points in 68 games. Hopefully he goes to a decent team in the draft. Jacob Murray with 676. Billy Constantinu with a 668. 643 for Mitchell Byrne, 639 for Gordon, 619 for Brand, 611 for Ali, and a 6 for Brahani. And yeah, not really much to look at here. I mean, you can look at Iguano. He's definitely been our best player all year, for sure. And again, hopefully he goes to a good team in the draft. We're going to keep up with him because he obviously was our first star player. You could say star player anyway of this GM mode. So I want to keep up with him, see where he's going, see how he's doing in the NHL. I don't think he's going to get sent back. I really don't. I think he's good enough to make an NHL roster. Because if you take a look at his technical category, he's already got a ton of, well, not a ton, but he's got a few greens in there. All the main greens that he needs: passing, slap shot, stick handling as an offensive defenseman. And he has mostly oranges in there as well in the defensive category. I don't see him coming back. I think he'll go to an NHL team. I think he'll be on an NHL roster day one. Regardless of how late he goes in the draft, he's still a phenomenal player. So all the best to him. As far as forwards go, Gabriel Vilardi obviously came in, did a spectacular job, 15 points in 11 games. Wish we could have had that sooner, but you know, I'll take it. 764 average rating. Ian DeRungs with a 719. Hugh with a 710. Everyone else was below a 7. Hugh with a 696, 685 for Hotchkiss, 682 for Mercer, 681 for Davis and Golovachev, 661 for Baker, 653 for Martin, 651 for Newman, 650 for Laurie, 649 for McDougall, 639 for Druitt, 638 for Cranford, 624 for, who is that, Wisdom, 620 for Larrabee, and a 6 for Freeman and Pringle. As far as points goes, Hotchkiss led the way with 58, DeRungs with 56, Martin with 52, Davis with 36, Bernie with 34, Hugh with 28, Golovachev with 25, Newman with 25 as well, Laurie and Wisdom with 21, McDougall and Mercer with 19, Baker with 16, Vilardi with 15, Druitt with 11, Cranford with 8, Pringle with 7, and then Freeman and Larrabee with 1. So that'll just about do it for year number 1 and your Kingston Frontenacs. And in the next one, we will get to the OHL entry draft, I guess. As I'm not really sure what's after this. As I'll be honest, I've never done a junior GM mode in this game, so it should be interesting to see what happens next. I would imagine it's the OHL priority selection. So I will see you guys in the next one.